Like words, news photographs, too, can be edited and shaped. The classic way it has worked for decades is that a photojournalist is given an assignment. Dozens of pictures are taken. A particular picture is selected. An editor enlarges it to the desired size and then crops it so that the best-looking, most compelling image is produced on the printed page. But the image itself was rarely tinkered with beyond that. It just wasn't possible, for instance, to seamlessly remove an unwanted person from a group shot or put one person's head on another person's body. Today's computer technology makes such alterations not only easy, but undetectable. And it is happening a lot.
Texas Governor Ann Richards addressing the Democratic Party convention in New York.
And as far as this White House is concerned, honey, you can turn out the lights. The party's over.
Richards' charisma had earned her a magazine cover alive with her trademark feistiness. Except it wasn't Richards, just her head electronically placed on a model's body. In journalism circles, the photograph intensified an already heated debate.
On finding out that it's not Ann Richards on a motorcycle, that it's a cropped head, it doesn't bother me. The point of that was not to show that Ann Richards is a motorcycle rider, but that Ann Richards is not your typical gray-haired 65-year-old woman governor, I think. So what?
That photograph ended up on the AP Wire a year ago after the election, when she lost the election. The day after the election, AP ran it as a photograph. AP had to pull real quick once they came in and realized that somebody had put this thing out as a real photograph and grab it back. These things enter into our society as being documents, and they're not documents.
If I had a chance to do the Ann Richards covers again, I've always thought that I probably would, because those were such successes as magazine covers, and they became icons for both for Ann and for the magazine.
The questions raised by the fake Ann Richards picture reflect a journalistic tug-of-war between a photograph's aesthetic and its news value. Right in the middle is a computer technology that transforms how the media handles images and makes us ask, can we trust the pictures we see? Take this picture of me, for instance. Looks real because that's really Ireland, and that's really me with friends. But we were never in Ireland together. That's me with my son, and me with my boss. Now another person's been scanned in, and I'm no longer looking at my son. Now there's no doubt that Bruce Willis isn't pregnant. But what about these images? Ann Richards again. But she and her rival were in no mood to do the Texas two-step that year. And this ad from TV, Louis and Elton might have had fun, but it never happened. And Bill Gates certainly can afford to relax, but not with that body. It's not his. All these images have two things in common. They were computer-generated, and they're all fakes.
I think if the media puts itself at the level where it will engage in any sort of a trick to increase its circulation, to increase its visibility, then it's using and misusing the capital it has of public confidence in it. And the media at that point, it's much more difficult to rebuild confidence by people. It's very easy to lose it.
I think the manipulation of photographs is in fact wonderful. Now, I should preface that by saying I certainly don't believe we should purposely deceive readers with photographs that are intended to make them think something happened that didn't happen. But I think that photographs, if they are to become less superficial, if they're going to become more meaningful, have to be allowed to speak in many tenses, as words now do.
While all photographs can be manipulated, it is on the cover of newspapers and magazines where the news, sales, and art most visibly clash.
Covers are perhaps a thing of their own. At least they are perceived as such by many of us in the business. The cover really is an advertisement for the magazine. So we give ourselves probably a little bit more leeway with covers than we otherwise would, yet we don't stop to think often enough whether readers perceive this advertisement, poster content as much as we do. The famous example in recent years, of course, was the darkening of the image of O.J. Simpson on the cover of Time magazine 2 years ago. And I don't think that there was a conscious decision on anybody's part to say, well, by making him darker, he will be more evil. It was simply an aesthetic decision that had to do with other things that were going on in that image.
That's extraordinary, that you would take a man accused of a double murder and have to change the image immediately to make it more dramatic, when that public record used to be something that fascinated the country. And you would not do that in text. If you said that a light-skinned man was dark-skinned, or you made him look perhaps more guilty or whatever in the text, and did it intentionally, you'd say that's not a good reporter.
The public first learned of digital manipulation in 1982 with National Geographic's cover of pyramids that had been electronically nudged together. And some Newsday readers during the 1994 Winter Olympics mistakenly thought that Nancy Kerrigan and Tanya Harding had skated together the previous day. Months after the Ann Richards issue, Texas Monthly published a story about Lena Guerrero, a governor's appointee embroiled in scandal. The cover photograph raised different issues.
We happened to get a great photograph of Lena sitting kind of in a sassy way on top of an oil rig thing. And what happened was, after that, I got several comments from people asking me, why didn't we give her a better body? In other words, insinuating that we had faked that photograph. We need to be careful, because here we have this great photograph, and some people don't believe that it's real. And so are we hurting the integrity of the magazine?